Hello Flosstube, it's Nicole and welcome back to my channel. Today is Sunday, May 7th, 2023. This is Flosstube 44, and I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my returning subscribers. Let's take off my glasses so we don't see all that glare. Say thank you to all my returning subscribers, and welcome to all of my new subscribers. I am so glad you're here. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone for your condolences on the loss of my grandfather. I've been kind of out of touch on social and just on my channel in general the last week or so. But I just want to say thank you. I had filmed last week's Flosstube prior to getting the phone call, and so I was able to get that edited and up while I waited for my mother's plane to get in from Arizona, and then I immediately took her to my grandfather's home. They had put him in hospice care last Friday morning, and he wanted to be back at the home that he was living in. He lived in an assisted living. And so we were able to make it. He had gone downhill pretty quickly over Friday. He'd been pretty good in the morning, but she didn't get in until about 5:30 p.m. It was an hour and a half there, and he knew she came. And so that was wonderful. And I was glad that we were there, and then he did pass away about between 4 and 4:30, early Saturday morning. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. He was 99 years old. He had an incredible life, and I know that my grandmother was happy to see him. Anyway, so sorry. I did make the joke because their relationship was so cute, but she was always picking, for lack of a better term, maybe nagging, I don't know. But I did make the joke that when he got there, the first thing she probably said to him is, "What are you wearing?" Because she did that all the time, and all of us grandkids laughed about it, and even my mom and her brother and sister. Because it's true. He didn't care what he was wearing, but she got so mad if he didn't match, or if something was if he was dirty, if he'd gotten something, he'd been out working in the garage and he got something on his clothes. So it was hilarious. I will say about 4 years ago. Yeah. In 2019, he did an interview, or he was interviewed, about his time serving in World War II, and there's a fun video on YouTube. One of my cousins, she kind of helped facilitate and set that up, and I know that my brother and I and my mom, and I'm sure my whole family, has enjoyed watching that and watching him talk about it. I will say he never really said a lot. He would tell you if you asked, but he could reel off the dates and all of, where he was, just his mind. It was such a blessing that he had his mind until the very end. And I thought it was impressive that at that time, a 95-year-old man could reel off dates and places and all of the things, and it's a blessing to have, and a blessing to pull that up and watch him talk. And he was very, very hard of hearing for like most of my life. He didn't hear very well, even with hearing aids. It was hard for him. So some of the things in the video, you could tell he didn't understand exactly. And I know that my cousin Jennifer helped him. She would have to kind of help him understand what they were asking. But I mean, he just knew it all. So anyway, a blessing. So thank you guys again for all of your lovely condolences and words and prayers and thoughts. I appreciate it very much. That being said, I wasn't home a lot. And then when I was home, my mom was here for part of the time before she went back to Arizona. She and my dad both will be coming back when we have his memorial service, which didn't need to be right away. He's being cremated, and he wanted his military honors. So we are making sure that's all set up and whatnot, and we'll have his memorial service in June. So my parents will be back, but anyway, my mom was here, and I literally just soaked up the time with my parents, because for 40 some years of my life, my parents lived within 15 minutes. And they moved about 5 years ago or so to Arizona, and they love it. But obviously I don't get that one-on-one time, and I just soaked up every moment with my mom, which was amazing and wonderful, but I didn't stitch a lot. However, I did send her a Daylight Halo Go and a lap desk, the ones that I love and use, that are in my Amazon shop down in the description below, and I know a lot of you have seen in our stitch alongs. I sent her those for Mother's Day because we were talking about cross stitch, and she wanted to see my whole setup, and she wanted to see some of the things I was stitching. And so she was like, oh. And I could tell that she was like, well, maybe I should buy one of those lights. And I thought, Mother's Day's coming. So I sent it to her. She got it a little early, but that's okay. Her card should be there, right around Mother's Day. I just thought, well, might as well go and get that. And she messaged me last night to say that she already had plugged in her light and it was charging. So that was fun. Okay, today, like I said, not a ton of stitching, but I have so much to show you guys. I have some Q&A. I have some shout out things that I want to talk about, a free chart. I do want to share my stitching. I do want to share some quilting or sewing that I've done. Haul. I have a lot of haul. I have Stitchy Kindness today. Fat Quarter Shop has sent me some fun things I want to share with all of you guys. And then, of course, I have some giveaways. So, questions. Sherry said, how did you figure out how big of a piece of fabric you needed for Big City Christmas in a row? So on Country Cottage Needleworks website, they give what the full row, they give the stitch count. Sorry, couldn't think of the word. They give the stitch count for that. And I plug that into the Fat Quarter Shop cross stitch calculator, and with my fabric and how big of a border I wanted to leave, and it spit out the size, and that's what I used. So I will have a link to Country Cottage Needleworks, and then there is always a link down at the bottom for the Fat Quarter Shop cross stitch calculator. Connie, it's time for a puppy fix, she said. Let me find Frank. I had to go find him. He was taking a nap. So here is Mr. Frank. He's been groomed twice. He's a good boy. He weighs 10.5 pounds now. He's very sleepy. And he is just the sweetest, smartest boy. Aren't you? You say hi to everybody. Are you just so sleepy? No running around and barking today? Isn't he cute? So he is just wonderful. He and Odin are best buddies. I love it. They chase each other around and they romp and they play. He's very sleepy. He's being such a sweet baby. He is getting neutered next month. So that's good. We were waiting for some of his baby teeth to fall out. He has a couple teeth. If they don't fall out in this next month before his appointment, they'll just pull him when he's under. But this is ridiculous. Can you say hi to everybody? No? Just sleepy? You want to go back and lay down? So there's your puppy fix. He's the sweetest. We love him. Okay. Cheryl, so we've talked about framing in the last couple of videos. She gets her framing done at Michael's, and they use stitch pins to hold your work, which I have heard several, I believe, floss tubers talk about getting things framed at Michael's or buying frames at Michael's and doing it themselves. So there is another option. Crafty Cat. This was another suggestion. I had another one, I think, last week that suggested a Google form that you fill out with your address so that if you win a prize, I can just look up your name and send it out. I'll consider it for the future. I'm going to tell you why I'm not doing it right now. I did have one in the past for mailing out cards, and it worked really great for a little while. And then people would move, and I got several cards back, and I do not want to send out prizes and be getting prizes back. So for now, I'm going to continue doing it this way, but it is an option for the future. Nell, wondering if I would ever consider a tour of how to display your FFOs. I have shared them in some of my videos, like my video around Christmas. I shared Christmas decor, and I just kind of showed all my decor, but how I tucked in, because I use my cross stitch FFOs just as part of my decor with everything else. I did an Easter one here recently, and I don't know if that I did Valentine's, but going forward, kind of seasonally, I will share those in my videos. If that is not what you meant, you let me know. Teddy, where do you get the majority of your cross stitch patterns? I shop a lot with Fat Quarter Shop. That is where I shopped the majority of my supplies. I also where I shop for the majority of my supplies, quilting or cross stitch. Then I do shop Etsy and individual shops and designers. Primrose Cottage is one. Chantal 141 Design is another one. Other designers that I really, really like, I follow them and I shop directly from them. If some aren't on Etsy, some might just have their own shop, so I will shop just from the designer's website as well. Okay, that is it for Q&A. Shout outs this week. So I do want to say, let's see. The first thing, I like the Sable Stitchers Flosstube here on YouTube, and I enjoy watching them. They have a great website. If you ever are wanting to know like where all of the cross stitch retreats are and you'd like to see them all in one place, they have a website, and I have it linked. I'll have it down here on the screen, but I'll have it linked down in the description below. It takes you to their website, and they list all the retreats that they have heard about or know about, and they add to it. It is a great resource. If you are looking for a retreat, check that out. The next thing I wanted to, or the next shout out, is that Diane of Silver Creek Samplers has started her Flosstube channel, and I just love it. I thought it was really fun. It's short and sweet for her first one, but she definitely talks a little bit about joining Flosstube, shares a couple of things, and I think it's going to be super fun going forward. So give her a follow, subscribe to her channel. I love her designs, and I thought it was super fun that she has joined the Flosstube family. So there is a link to that down below as well. Then I also wanted to talk about Fat Quarter Shop's May Specials. So Fat Quarter Shop always has like flash sales daily, and then they have sales monthly. So I thought I would talk about this month's specials in case you're interested. The basic of the month this month is one of my all-time favorites if you are a quilter and you like a nice solid. Bella solids are on sale this month. So definitely click the link down below if you are looking for some Bella solids. Sew Line are the notion of the month. I love Sew Line. So like the glue stick that I used, if you watched my vintage kite foundation paper piecing pattern, I love their glue, their little glue stick that I used for that. I use it all the time. I also use the water soluble or erasable pen, marking pen, two of my all-time favorites. So definitely check those out. I will insert photos. I always do the wrong way. I will insert photos of those here so you can see what I'm talking about. But definitely check that out if you're looking for some notions. The book of the month. Let me pause. I'm going to grab mine. So the book of the month this month is the Lella Boutique. And these are on sale. And here are two of them that I have and love. Jelly Filled and Charm School. Awesome. Awesome books. One is more about using charm. Well, this one is about 2.5 strips. That's Jelly Filled. And then Charm School is 5-inch squares. So these are how to use pre-cuts in your quilts. These are both fantastic books. Vanessa Gertzen is one of my favorite Moda designers. Moda is probably my all-time favorite fabric, and I love many of the designers for Moda. I also love Riley Blake, but I absolutely love Lella Boutique, and she just shared what her new collection is that will be coming out fall, I think, and it is gorgeous. I am going to put a photo right here of it, so follow her on Instagram if you haven't already, and if you are looking for some inspiration and fun books, check out the books of the month at Fat Quarter Shop, her books that are the book of the month. Pattern of the month, one of my other favorite Moda designers, Fig Tree Quilts, is the pattern of the month. So if you are looking for a discount on some of your favorite Fig Tree patterns, definitely check those out. I love Joanna Figueroa of Fig Tree Quilts, and a lot of the fabric I have here is hers. Truly, I love her patterns. I have a huge collection. I haven't sewn as much as I want, but I will say I've probably sewn more of her patterns than any. Her and Thimble Blossoms, Camille Ross Kelly, are probably the two I've sewn the most patterns of. And I have lots of Vanessa's as well, but I don't know if I've ever fully sewn a full quilt of hers. I have several, and I've got a couple of quilt kits coming, so that's probably coming soon. But anyway, if you're looking for some want to pick up some Fig Tree patterns that are on your wish list, they are on sale. And the cross stitch fabric of the month is Witchell. So check those out. All the links for those sections over at Fat Quarter Shop are down in the description below. And that is it for shout outs this week. Okay, whips. Well, it is May. It is Stitch Mania. I loved hearing from all of you last week. A lot of no way I'm doing Stitch Mania. For me, Stitch Mania is really just a continuation of how I normally stitch, in which I know a lot of you said that as well. But however you do Stitch Mania, just know that I support you. I love the people who are starting lots of new things or working on their whips all month long, a different whip all month long. However you want to do that, I love it. I'm here for it. At the time of filming this, I've only worked on my first project. I am doing about 8 projects this month. 7 of them I'll work on 4 days each. So I am currently working, the first one I picked up, I didn't put a set schedule. I just picked up whatever I felt like. And because I've really been feeling this hands-on design, a moment in chalk squareology, which you know that I kind of picked up last month. It was not on my 5 for 5, but loved it. And I will say, I guess I should kind of say for 5 for 5, I did not get This Is the Day started because of how the end of my month went. So that's okay. No big deal. It's on my list for this week, and it will be a start, or this month. It will be a start for this month. And that is totally okay. Life happens. There is no hard and set rules. So I have worked on this at the time of recording about 3 days. I have one more day to go. I will say that I made a huge blunder and I'm a little bit mad. I'll show it to you. I messed up. I started the bee too far this direction. It needs to go right. It needs to be right here. I don't know what I was doing. And of course, you can see how much of it I got done. And I was like, dang it. But what I got done this week, all the little colorful flowers here, I finished all this, and all of this, and adding the color. Oh my gosh, you guys, isn't that so pretty? I did that, and I stitched my little blue line. So I have one more day of stitching for this. Hopefully I'll get some more of the white done. But it was a lot of color changes for the flowers because I got all of this stitched really fast. But these are a lot of color changes, but they definitely add so much to the design. I am stitching on 32. It's 32 charcoal. I want to make, yeah, 32 charcoal gray Lugana. So it's charcoal gray Lugana. 2 strands over 2 called for Gentle Arts threads. And it is gorgeous. Oh, I completely forgot the other thing I did. I had to rip out something else. So you might remember I said that these 2 blue colors that are used in the banner, there's kind of a greeny blue that's used over here. What is that color? Huckleberry is the main color. Tropical Ocean. Tropical Ocean was the color that's kind of got the greeny color to it that's in the end tails of the banner. Well, I got them mixed up, and one strand, well, it was 2 strands, but you know, one length, I had accidentally stitched right here. Well, it just was glaringly obvious. So I did end up ripping it out. It did take a little bit of time to get it all ripped out very, very carefully, and I restitched it. So I am glad that I did. It's not glaringly obvious. If I should do a comparison photo, maybe I'll just pop a photo in. Well, maybe I will just pop it. No, I'll pop it right here. I'll pop it right there so you can see. And I'm going to just do this. So you can really tell. You can tell, and it looks so much better now. So I did that as well. I'm really happy with my progress. I love it. And I will say, I have thought several times about just dumping my May plans and stitching this monogamously, but I have so many other things I want to stitch. So at this point, I'm not going to, but I might. Who knows? Anyway, this is the stitch. It will be that big thing. The border chart is in here, and then there's individual charts. Check out last week's video if you haven't seen this before. And if you have stitched this, or if you have it in your stash, let me know down in the comments. It is from 2016, and this is the chart that got me back to wanting to cross stitch, because I picked it all up. And it's kind of been in my stash and whatnot for a while. And that is all for stitching this week, or at the time of the filming. There will be more stitching. Okay. I'm not going to go through all my plans. I'm just going to share my stitching each week with you guys, kind of like normal. And then I will do a review at the end of the month to show you how my Stitch Mania went. Follow me on Instagram. I will be sharing at the end of each project, at the end of each 4 days or 3 days, I will share like a before and after, like where I started, where I'm at for each of my projects, because I thought that would be kind of fun. All right. Before we move to quilting, I do want to do, and I think it's right here, a free chart. So I mentioned that Diane of Silver Creek Samplers has a new Flosstube. She also has amazing giveaways. I'm not going to show the chart even though it is free. I did download and print mine off, but I have a link. Go over to her website and you can download this cute little freebie chart. I thought it was absolutely darling, and so generous and kind of the designers when they offer little freebies. And I did stitch her February. Yeah, I stitched the February one. I love it. I think I will stitch this one as well. Absolutely so cute. So check her out. And that is one of the freebie things I want to share with you this month. The other one, think it was Christmas time. I don't know how I heard about it, but there is it's not cross stitch. This is for my quilters and my sewers. Passport to quilting. I'm going to put a photo or insert a little photo here. This is free charts, but it's for a limited time. Like, it's a fun little event. Lots of quilters, lots of our favorite quilters participate in it, and they offer freebies. But you have to sign up for it. So I have a link down in the description below to sign up for it. I have signed up already. It is May 11th through the 15th, 2023, and that is the only time you can go download the freebies. After that, they get rid of them. So like all the Christmas ones and things from before, I think it was fall and Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. I've not sewn any of them. I downloaded them. I downloaded the ones I liked. But it is awesome if you would like some really cool free quilt blocks or quilt projects. So it's May 11th through the 15th. It's called Passport to Quilting Spring. And I have a link down below if you would like to sign up for it, for anyone who loves to sew and quilt. All right, quilting time. So this week I am sewing still on the Fat Quarter Shop Vintage Kite Quilt Along. This is the Vintage Kite 6-inch paper that you need for the quilt along. The pattern is free. And where is it? I'll just insert a photo. It is free from Fat Quarter Shop, but you have to have the paper in order to sew the blocks. And these are this week's, well, this might be this week's and previous blocks. But I sewed, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I do 4 at a time that are similar. So I'm only going to show, I'll just show these because I sewed these 2 this week and I shared them on my Instagram. I still am loving sewing these. I love doing the foundation paper, and my quilt it's going to come along. I'm going to start sewing the rows once I have a nice variety sewn up, so maybe pretty soon. I need to double check. Oh, I didn't sew this one really great. You know what? I remembered. I decided not to re-sew it. It was good enough. No one's going to see it when it's quilted, right? Anyway, I need to start sewing my rows together. I just needed enough variety so that I could start doing that. I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to go with all of my bee decor. I obviously picked this. This is the Honeybee collection by My Mind's Eye. The little cross stitch fabric, this out here is Lori Holt for Riley Blake. My Mind's Eye is also Riley Blake. And then I do have a couple, I don't think they're in this stack though. I am using a couple of other grays from my stash. I mean, hard to believe that I have fabric in my stash, I know. So that is one of the things that I sewed this week. The other is actually what I am keeping my moment in chalk in. So I know all of you are going, Nicole, you said you were not going to sew project bags. I lied. I am addicted. And this one is a little bigger, but this is how it worked. I purchased, and I think I showed it to you last week or the week before. I've purchased some fabric kits from Primrose Cottage. They have our fabric bundles. This was actually for like their April freebie pattern. I think I bought it. It's Sweet Liberty by Moda is this collection, and it was just this little mini charm pack, which is the 2.5-inch squares. But I knew when I bought it that I wasn't going to sew their freebie chart. I was going to use it for a project bag. This is a fabric. I believe this is Corey Yoder fabric. So they curate really cool bundles. And then this is part of the Sweet Liberty, but this stripe fabric came in it. So it was a mini charm pack. This fabric here, this fabric, a little bit of this blue fabric that I actually practiced my zigzag stitching on, so I threw it away. It wasn't a whole lot. And then some white background fabric that I'm going to use on something else. So I didn't use that, but I used like every bit of this red stripe for binding. I used every bit of my charms for the front of my bag, and then I used this fabric not only for the back, but I used it for the lining. So there is a little bit of it left over that I can use for other things, but it's on the lining. I use Soft and Stable for both the front and the back. I did quilt the front and the back. This is a Sweetwater label. I have lots of them. So I just label my things, but this is my project bag and I love it. Quilting inspired by Joanna Figueroa of Fig Tree Quilts. She does this really awesome little ziggy-zag quilting, and that's what I practiced on that little strip of fabric. I wasn't using it, and I thought, oh, I wonder, I need to practice. I don't want to start quilting my bag and find that I don't like it. So what I love is, even though I do that, Soft and Stable makes your bag have some nice body to it. I'm loving my bag so much. I bought some more mini charm packs you're going to see in my haul because I want to make several of these bags. Very, very easy. Obviously, I added my little zipper. I've got a little zipper pull here from Cherry Chick, Little Red Flower. And I'll just go ahead and put my project back in here, actually. So, love, love, love my bag. I want to make all the bags. Who knew? And this is something that I worked on, and it really didn't take that long. I do highly recommend the Soft and Stable, though, if you want to quilt. And I like the look of a quilted bag. I'm kind of finding little things about myself as I'm sewing, you know, the floss folder portfolios or making my own project bags. I like things quilted because I had sewn one of my, the Ashley Stitch case from Christine Sherman. I sewed up my first one and I didn't quilt it and I didn't like it. And then I quilted the rest of them that I've made and I love it. So anyway, project bag. I didn't really follow a pattern. I know Joanna Figueroa of Fig Tree Quilts has a cool tutorial, and I think she's starting to share some little videos on Instagram. I don't know if she's going to do a YouTube video or not, of how to make project bags using some of her blocks, or she kind of had a patchworky, it's not exactly all mini charm squares. It was all different sizes. Kind of the same idea, but it will be a great resource and tutorial as well. And then I do bind them instead of trying to like flip them or whatever. Binding is not my favorite, but I am finding that this is great practice for my quilts because I do like the look. I like this a lot better than turning it out, especially with the Soft and Stable. It's a little bit trickier or whatever. So I like this, but I'm also looking at it as great practice for sewing my binding on. Anyway, I love it. You're going to see more project bags from me. Who knew? Oh, and I forgot there is another fabric that came in this particular bundle. I don't think it's available. I did go look. This fabric, it's really pretty. Here, I have it out. I'm making a little floss keeper to match. So there was a little bit of this fabric that came in the kit as well, and I thought, what can I make? So I'm going to make a matching little floss using a Starlight Stitching Co. I bought her pattern. I've bought her little floss cases, but I am going to make one to match. And I even bought some plastic snaps. They're not here yet. I think they're being delivered today. So maybe I'll share in my Instagram stories over the weekend, which you may see before you see this. But anywho, so that is my quilting for the week. Let me see. Haul. All right, I have a lot of haul. The first thing I want to talk about is I shared the April Sew Sampler unboxing in my video last week, and I know I heard from a couple of you who went and signed up. You had contacted customer service so you could make sure and get that, so you could get block 1 of the pressed flowers. And I did purchase the Bunny Hill pressed flowers kit from Fat Quarter Shop. It sold out. So I don't know if they're restocking it. I will say that. I have no idea if they're restocking this or not. You can, I don't know if they have like the fabric requirements or not. I'll have to look for if you want to, because I know the collection is in stock. So I will put a link down to the Sugarberry collection. It's the Bunny Hill Sugarberry collection. I love it. Now, if reds and pinks and creams and taupes are not your thing, you can sew it in any fabric you want. They have a collection coming out, and it's in the coming soon, that's all like blues and creams. I love it too, and I think it would be beautiful if you're more of a blue person, or you don't have to use Bunny Hill at all. Use your favorite fabric. But I did want to mention that. So while I am showing you this, it is sold out. I think they're surprised because last year's didn't sell out. And I mean, it's a year-long program. It didn't sell well for them. And so they didn't do quite as many this year. And this one sold out like immediately. So, but I'll start sharing my blocks. So now that I have talked about this is one of the things that's on the agenda for the weekend, is sewing up block 1. So I will share that with you guys next week. So that came. Oh, and I did mention that I did not like the backing kit, the backing fabric that Fat Quarter Shop picked. I wanted to pick my own from that collection. Oh, I bought all the fabric, by the way. I bought all the fabric. Apparently I want to sew again. I picked this for my backing fabric. So I will link to this down below as well. And I just bought enough for as far as the fabric requirements for that. Okay, the other things. I believe this is the last pattern in Big City Christmas. This is the restaurant. This is in my Stitch Mania for this month. So this project, it's going to take me longer than that to sew it, but I got that from Fat Quarter Shop, and I have a link to that. And then I am part of the Floss Frenzy Club, which is the week's Dye Works floss from Fat Quarter Shop, and I got my floss for that. So here is a look at the floss. Ooh, Blaze is bright. Blackboard I can always use some of. So here are my colors. I like this a lot. What is that? Blue Heron. I really like that for like the muted blue. Like if you're doing a lot of patriotic stitching, I think that would be great. I like that. So that is my Floss Frenzy. Let's just set that there. And we'll set that to go put in the bright box. Oh my gosh. My favorite pins, I needed to restock. They are the Little House pins. And Fat Quarter Shop sells these, but I originally heard about them from Joanna Figueroa of Fig Tree Quilts. And they just are a tiny little pin. They're in this little package, but these are my favorite pins. They do have this little case. I will say I never keep it. I always pitch it. Don't tell. But I love, love, love these pins. So I actually bought a couple of those to restock my pins. I also got, so I saw this, and then Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher, is stitching this. Channing Street from Annie B's. I had to have it. I know. I said I wouldn't sew project bags. I lied. I also said I wasn't a sampler stitcher. I lied. Because this alphabet definitely, and the border gives the sampler vibes, doesn't it? It's beautiful. Very, very excited to start this. So thank you, Jessica, again. Let me see. From Primrose Cottage. Okay, I held out as long as I could. I have seen so many of you stitching the Tiny Modernist, A Stitcher's Garden. Also, I just noticed that Tiny Modernist came out. This was released at Market, but Tiny Modernist did just make this in the PDF. So if you live out of country and you want to stitch this and you didn't want to get the paper chart, you can purchase the PDF version. But I got this. And then I did get Emily's Floss conversion of color and cotton floss for this. I had to. So, my first color and cotton. So yes, I did buy that as well. I tried to hold off. Color conversion by Holly Jones of Mrs. Jones Stitches and Emily. Yeah, I knew it wasn't just Emily. I want to make sure and tell you right. So thank you, ladies, for an awesome color conversion. Okay, and then I'm going to show you, I actually grouped it. I got several different fabric collections to make more project bags. So I didn't actually order all of the latest collection yet of Joanna Figueroa's Fruit Cocktail. So I got the mini charm pack, and then I love her cherry fabric. I love her cherry fabric. So I bought these fabrics to do a bag. We'll see how many I can get done before next week because I really just want to make project bags. Can someone else do my work for me? Let's see. Oh yeah. I figured I needed more sugarberry fabric because apparently I love it so much. So I bought actually quite a lot to do some different things, and I bought a little mini charm pack so I could do a project bag. But I bought the rest of this for a couple of other things. So I bought quite a lot of that and all my favorites. Oh my gosh, you guys. Harvest Wishes from Moda. I bought 2 charm packs because I'm going to make a couple of bags, and then I've kind of got the cream colorway and then the blue colorway because you know how much I love stitching up my fall. So I thought I'd make a couple more bags out of that. Let me see. I think it's just this, isn't it? Riley Blake doesn't have the mini charm packs, so I just bought a regular charm pack. And this is Hey Bootiful. I loved the plaid. I love the text, and I figured I could cut up my own little 2. You know, I could get 4 out of each of these. I could probably make a couple of bags. So maybe I'll make some extras for that. But Halloween, because you guys know I love stitching Halloween too. Apparently, I'm really going to make a lot of bags. Hold me to it, everyone, because I bought all this fabric just for it. And then I'm not going to cut up this one into squares because I really wanted to keep the whole design. This is which one is this? It's Riley Blake too. Fright Delight. It comes in several colorways, but I loved the vintage feel of this. I mean, look at this, you guys. Is that not the cutest? Look at the little witch on the moon and the bunnies and the jack-o'-lanterns and the cat. I just loved it. And the cat with the Happy Halloween sign. It just gave me those vintagey vibes. So I did pick up this, and it will be more of a solid project bag. And then I got a couple of coordinating prints, you know, for linings and backings, and we'll see what I come up with. The fabric's real good right now. Or it's really my vibe. Whatever, one of those. What else did I get? I feel like I had no haul last week, so maybe this is, you know, how it is. I got some cross stitch fabric. So I got some 36 count Bramble from Picture This Plus. I like Picture This Plus. I really like this color. You can see the modeling a little bit in it. So 36 count Bramble. This is Haunted 32 count by Picture This Plus, which might be what I'm stitching for what I'm going to stitch on for the Halloween mystery stitch from Fat Quarter Shop. I haven't decided. Is it pistachio? Of course, I don't know. Did I write it down somewhere? Maybe not. I'm going to stitch along with Fat Quarter Shop's Haunted Halloween stitch along that starts in June. And this is maybe what I'm going to use. It's not the called for color, and obviously this is 32 count. Their called for is a 14 count. It's beautiful. I think it's pistachio. I don't think I'm going to use pistachio, but I'm considering very hard this haunted color. It's almost a bluish color, but I like it. Pistachio definitely has that greeny vibe, but it's very moody and awesome. And then I also got some 36 count Fiber on a Whim parchment. These were all like on my wish list. I like this too. Okay, so that's some fabric, cross stitch fabric I got. Then on Fig Tree, on Joanna Figueroa's website, because she has that awesome fruit cocktail book, which I bought. And I haven't started any of the quilts yet. I know they're doing a quilt along, but then I got to thinking, well, maybe I want to make project bags. More project bags. You guys know how many projects I have, so I don't feel bad about this. Oh, let's do these first. So I went and I noticed she had zipper pulls. Well, here's a little Halloween-y one. This wasn't part of that, but I saw it when I was buying all the rest and I had to have it. She has it's not good in here in the bag. She has a blueberry charm. Let's show the Halloween one again, shall we? Isn't that cute? Goes with her fabric. I have tons. Her Halloween lines are my favorite. In fact, I did the Fat Quarter Shop quilt along 2 years ago, and I used her fabric. The lemons, I'm totally making a lemon bag for my lemon stitching. Just telling y'all right now. For sure, doing that. Cherries. Oh, I'm going to do a cherry bag too. I think I actually have a cherry block I made ages ago in my not discard, but my random block bin. I think I'm going to turn it into a project bag. I need to look for that. We'll see if I can get that done too, because that would just be sewing it into that. And I feel like I'm missing a charm. That was 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. Found it. And I dropped it. And then she has a pair. Then she also had this cute little sewing machine. So I got that. And then she also has enamel pins. So I was already shopping. I bought the enamel pins that match. There's an enamel pin in the bigger size of their sewing machine, and I also got the pin cushion. So that was my haul from Fig Tree Quilts. I don't want to lose any of these, so let me throw these back in the little baggie. I do need to go look for that cherry block I made a long time ago. And that might be it. Yippee. Okay. I also got some goodies from Fat Quarter Shop that I want to share with you all. So let me grab those. So Fat Quarter Shop has come out with a bunch of their foundation paper in the 4-inch size. I think they have 6, 9, I can't remember, 12. They have several sizes. So I'm using the 6-inch for the Vintage Kite Quilt Along. They just came out with the 4-inch in the Vintage Kite. They also have the Economy Block foundation paper in the 4-inch. All of these are going to be 4-inch. The Sparkle Star, Courthouse Steps, Log Cabin, Snail Trail, and Pineapple. So check out all of that great foundation paper at Fat Quarter Shop. Okay, also from Fat Quarter Shop, they sent the Chicken Club Beatrice, the Sweet Laurel, which was in their Stitch Quarterly, couldn't think of it, April Stackables, Flower Peddler, and Spangled, which are 2 beautiful quilt patterns. So a lot of these will be giveaways today. So again, thank you, Fat Quarter Shop, for sending all of that. Stitchy mail. So I got some awesome things in the mail this week. Thank you. The first thing I wanted to share was Connie sent me, Connie sent me a little note too. She said that she, I think Fat Quarter Shop accidentally sent multiples of this, and she thought she would send one to me to keep or to give away, and I actually don't have this. And she was so sweet. So first let me show what Connie sent. It's the Lori Holt quilt seeds, and it's the pumpkin, and you guys know I love pumpkin everything. So this is cute. And what size? Wonder what size this makes. First of all, look at the packaging. Let's just look, shall we? There's all kinds of pumpkin seed patterns, but the packaging is like the cutest. So here's, I can't show the pattern, but I'm going to see if it shows. I'm sure. Finished block is 16 by 18. Okay, so the pattern for that, so I absolutely love it. Thank you, Connie. I'm going to for sure keep it. And then she was so sweet. Fat Quarter Shop always is doing this. So just like I'm stitching the Vintage Kite Quilt Along, and you need to get the paper to do it, but then the setting pattern is free. It's kind of along the same lines. And Fat Quarter Shop always is doing amazing things like that. They have this pumpkin table runner pattern that you can download for free, and I actually have links to both of these, the block and the pattern, down in the description. So she printed it out for me, and I am for sure I'm going to make this. So Connie, thank you so much for sharing your extra with me. I love it. Okay, next up, Kim sent me, and I will say, oh my gosh. First of all, when I opened this and I saw the card, so let me show you her, oh gosh, well, let me see if I can knock it on the floor. She sent this beautiful card. So, so beautiful. And so when I opened it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. And then in the package, look at this, you guys. Look at this little wooden spoon with the bee in it and then the honeycomb. Kim, I love this. I cannot wait to style this and use it for my bee decorating. So thank you so much, Kim. That was so, so sweet of you. Next, Linda sent me a beautiful card and then a lovely note. She cleaned up her craft room, and look at that pretty card. Isn't that so pretty? She cleaned up her craft room, she said, and she kind of cleaned out a few things, and she had some duplicates of patterns, and then she had some fabric that just she didn't either like, or she found out that she doesn't like stitching on that stitch count. And so she actually sent a ton, and I'm going to show all of this to you. It is amazing. Some of it will probably be for giveaways. Some of this I'm going to keep. She sent some amazing, amazing things. This is a Stacy Nash Primitives. This is the Pin Keep stack. Absolutely beautiful pattern. Heartstring samplery. Oh my gosh, you guys. Sweet Land of Liberty. I love this. I love this. Beautiful for Spacious Skies. I love this one too. Sweet Wing Studio. I absolutely love this as well. Blessed Beyond Measure. Isn't that cute? We have Stitching with the Housewives. Let's Go Ride a Bike, Sweetheart Street. I love all things heart. So cute. The February month to month. Is it Puntini? I think I'm saying that right, but this is the February. I think these monthly little pillow stitches are so cute. Sorry that the glare is kind of bad. Heart in Hand. The little birds. Isn't that cute? I love me some Heart in Hand. Lori Holt Stitch Cards O. And let me make sure that's all the, no, there's more patterns back here. Linda just brought it with all the cute things. Jan Hicks Creates Christmas, Vintage Christmas Alphabet 1. These are really pretty. And then she sent Primrose Cottage Autumn Rules. I do have the downloadable, but there's something about paper charts that I really love. And I am planning on stitching that this year. So I'm probably going to keep it. Hive Rules, which I have stitched. I love this one so much. So this will be a future giveaway. I also have this one in download, but I may stitch it from this because I haven't started. I have it all kitted up. This is ABC, which I love. I'm going to stitch that one this summer. And then I do have the downloadable, but again, there is something about the paper chart that I love. Christmas Rules, which I did stitch part of it, but I wouldn't mind maybe stitching the full thing. Anyway, so thank you, Linda. Then lots of fabric. Let's see what we've got. This is 25 count, right? Oatmeal. This is actually really pretty. Really, really pretty. And this is a 1/8 yard. This one, I think, is also same thing. So 2 of those. This is some Zweigart 14 count and Country Grain. That will be a giveaway. I think this one is too. Country Mocha. in 14. That will also. She also sent some needlework fabric, which this is a 28 count linen. Kind of hard to see in there. She's got some black. She said black is not for her. So we've got a 25 count. I think these might both be. These are both 25 count fabrics. Oh my gosh, this is actually what I'm stitching on right now, and it's out of stock. What I'm stitching, what I showed earlier, my chalk piece. This is 32 count charcoal Lugano, which I absolutely love. I have some of this in my stash. I haven't stitched on it, but I've stitched on the pink. This is Mint Splash 32 count Lugana. And that is it. Linda, what a treasure trove of beautiful things. Like I said, some of these will be in future giveaways. Some I'm going to keep and stitch. There are some treasures in here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Linda, for sharing with me and with all of you. All right. Giveaway time. So I made a mistake last week in last week was Flosstube 43. So let me talk about Flosstube 42 because I announced the winners last week. I announced the winner of, let me grab it, the Luminaries quilt pattern. But here's what happened. It doesn't matter. I messed up. So when you input the number, this was number 5 in the random comment picker, it finds a 5 in all of the comment. Well, there was a 5 in the comment, but that wasn't a request. And I usually try to check and I didn't. So the person I picked, Carrie, I'm really, really sorry about that, didn't actually request this. So I went back to that video and I chose someone who did request this. So the winner is actually Vicki Kennedy. So Vicki, if that is your comment, you are the winner of this. And again, I'm so sorry. I usually try to be a little more careful about that. I messed up. All right. From last week, Flosstube 43, and I asked if you were doing Stitch Mania or not, and I mentioned earlier, thank you guys for responding and letting me know. The winner of number 1, Stitching with the Housewives, June, month to month, you get the pattern, the floss, the sticker. The winner is Connie. So Connie, if that is your comment, let me know. The winner of the next 3 charts, which is the February and March stackables and the Welcome Simply sign, the winner is Susan Taylor. Congratulations, Susan. And finally, the winner of Chicken Club Hattie is Brenda Johnson. Congratulations, everyone. Please email me at the email address down in the description and I will get your prizes out to you. And everybody else's prizes have been mailed or they're on their way. I didn't get them out the door when I thought I was going to. I had them all packaged and labels printed and everything, but it took me a day to get to the post office. Okay, this week. So I am changing things just a tiny bit. I want to talk about that. Because I do film weekly, and because I did have a comment regarding this, it doesn't leave you a ton of days to leave a comment. And while I do not want my videos to all be about just the giveaways, and nothing has changed on my end. I was recording earlier before, I just wasn't announcing that the cutoff date was when it was. So you just didn't know. But now you know. And so it doesn't seem like there's very many days to leave a comment. So what I'm going to do going forward is I am actually going to make the cutoff date a little bit longer, which I will announce it here. I will put it along the bottom of the screen. I will also put it pin the comment down in the description so it lets you know. That means that I will actually not announce winners in next week's videos, but I will start another giveaway in next week's video. So you need to leave your comment for today's giveaways by May 17th, 2023 at 8 a.m. And we're just going to start that from this point going forward and see if this works a little better. It's going to give you a little bit more time because I film weekly. So I hope that makes sense. That means that next week I won't announce winners, but I will start another giveaway. And I will always let you know in the video when the cutoff is. That way you know, and that way you're not leaving comments for videos that are maybe 6 months old or something. I think that will work. We're going to give this a try. It will also give you a little bit more time, especially if you're watching a lot of different videos and floss tubes. Okay, this week, please be a U.S. resident. Please be over 18. Like and subscribe to, like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I appreciate it. Again, I have some really fun things. I'm starting to compile some fun things, and I've made some things to give away when we reach the 100K. So all of that good stuff. And then leave the numbers of the items you're interested in. Don't say all of them. Don't say giveaway or any of that in your comment. Put like, if you like 1, 3, and 4, put 1, 3, 4. When I use the random comment picker, I put the number in and it generates all the comments that have left that. And that's kind of how that accident happened, because if you have a number somewhere, but I usually read it and I can see if you've left that number. Again, that was my fault. But leave those numbers because that's how the random comment picker works, and I go off of that. So, with that being said, this week's giveaways. Number 1, put a 1 in the comment for the Fat Quarter Shop April Stackables. Put a 2 in the comment for Chicken Club Beatrice. Put a 2. Put a 3 in the comment for Sweet Laurel. This is so pretty, you guys. I really like this one. And then for my quilters, put a 4 for the Flower Peddler pattern. And this is a 56.5 square pattern. Beautiful. Would be pretty in so many colors. Number 4. And number 5. Put a 5 if you want spangled from Fat Quarter Shop. And this is a 60.5 square quilt. Thank you to Fat Quarter Shop for sending those patterns. Please leave the number of the items you're interested in, and the winner will be chosen again you have until May 17th, 2023, 8 a.m. Central Time to leave your comment. And I will announce those in that following Sunday's Flosstube. So I won't announce winners next week. It will be the Sunday after. I hope that makes sense. We're going to see if that gives you a little bit more time. Okay, everybody, I think that's all I have. I hope that if you're participating in Stitch Mania, it is going well. Stay tuned to my Instagram and social media. I will start posting some pictures of my mania and how it's going. And I want to do some comparisons after my 4 days of stitching each chart are done to show how far I'm getting on all of those. Share with me what you're stitching. Oh, I completely forgot. I have a question for you guys this week. Let me know. I thought it would be fun. What is the biggest chart you ever stitched? What is the stitch count? The stitch count for my Moment in Chalk is pretty big. I don't have it right at the moment. I want to say it's 413 or 417 square, which it's going to be probably pretty big. That'll be the biggest one I've stitched. But I'm just curious. Tell me what the stitch count is of the largest piece that you've stitched. And if you don't stitch larges and you like to just stitch smalls, tell me that. I always love the interaction. I loved reading everybody's comments about whether you do Stitch Mania or you don't. There's a lot of excitement, especially amongst those who've never done Stitch Mania before, which last year was my first time. And just remember, there's no rules. You can do as much or as little as you want to. It is, you make the rules. I always love that Lori Holt says this about quilting. You are the boss of your own quilt. You are the boss of your own stitching. If you like monogamous stitching, that's great. If you love starting lots of new projects, that's great. However you want to stitch is perfect. And also tell me, do you make project bags? Because I literally told you guys I wasn't going to do that, and I lied, because I am just having a ball making project bags. So who knew? Tell me the largest piece you've stitched. Tell me if you make project bags. Tell me all the things. I love reading your comments. I appreciate you all so very much. I hope you have a wonderful week of stitching, and I will see you guys all next Sunday. Thank you. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new Flosstube stitching or quilting video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.